Welcome to Women Engage, where real women talk about real issues. We're so glad that you could join us, and we welcome you from wherever you come from. I have a panel of beautiful women from all over our wonderful continent. And at this time, I just want to introduce all of these lovely ladies to you. My name is Justin Isabidi, and I'm from the beautiful Pearl of Africa, from Uganda. I'm going to ask each of the ladies to tell us their name and which country they're from.
I am Yetunde Odeyemi from Nigeria.
I'm Debbie Maloba from Democratic Republic of Congo.
I am Naita Buto from Kenya.
I'm Caroline Coralie from the beautiful paradise island of Mauritius.
I am Angela Woma from Nigeria.
Welcome all of our women and men that are watching us from wherever you are. We hope that this program will be a blessing to you. If you wish to engage with us, you can log on to our website, which is www.ecdadventist.org, and click on Women Engage. You can join and chat with the panelists here. You can have chats with other women and just join in our discussion. So today, we're going to begin with the topic, women and gossip. Now, ladies, I have a problem with this topic, first of all. I looked up on the internet, and Wikipedia says, gossip is idle talk or rumor, especially about the personal or private affairs of others. And I thought, in choosing the topic, women and gossip, that kind of implies that we have a problem with gossip. Do you agree?
Yeah.
We don't. Okay, so we don't have a problem with gossip. So why is this then an issue? Why do we need to talk about women and gossip? If it's not, is it a problem that women have? Is it a problem that people have generally? Why is this our topic for today then if we don't have a problem with gossip?
This is a problem in our society.
So gossip is a problem in our society?
Yes.
Not just for women.
Not just for women.
Not just for women. So we have a problem of gossip.
Exactly.
Okay, but not just women.
Not
so
just
do you think
women.
it's unfair that depiction, the typical depiction that it's women who gossip and men don't?
That was my strong no.
Yes.
Because it's not among women only.
Okay.
In my work, in my job, I've seen so many men gossiping, and it comes in many forms: letters, documents, and even hearsay. So we can't just define it for women, because maybe because per day we speak, 25,000 words, whereas the men speak less. Maybe we are really associated with gossiping.
Okay.
But it's not fair.
Okay, all right.
I tend to concur with both Sister Caroline and Debbie on the fact that it is not just only women, but both women and men, as Caroline has suggested.
Yeah.
You see, rumor, gossip, you said, according to Wikipedia, is rumor or idle talk about someone.
Yeah.
But if I would add something small into it, it's especially when the person is not in the vicinity, when the person is not there. And again, it will bring the person's reputation down. Yeah, so for me, it is both a yes and a no. Yeah, on both sides.
Okay, so if gossip is such a problem, then why do we do it? Why do we gossip?
We like to know something extra about the other person, and I look at you, I see how you are dressed, I see how you turn out each day, and if I don't bring in a bit of maturity, there's a tendency for me to sort of envy you. And so I think gossip gets born out of envy when you spend too much time looking at the other person and trying to say, what makes this person tick? What is the source of her happiness? And you know, at times we think this other person does not have a right to be happy. And so we want to hear something extra. And let me tell you, it's a human thing. Everybody likes a bit of juicy news. Yes, I know this. So that aspect of being a human being is what makes us want to hear the news about another person. But I think the fact that it brings disrespect, we should not gossip about others.
I think I also want to add that maybe taking you back also to why gossip is associated more to women.
Yeah.
Yeah, for men, I think it's saying that they discuss more of real issues. You find men discussing issues about sports, about politics, and maybe some that has to do with sharing also information that has to do with them also as men. But for us women, it's like most times we're really interested in issues that are private. So that is why it's like gossip is more. And looking at gossip, we'll go further with the definition, spreading private information. Yeah. So we women deal more with information that are private. Now, there are also, just like you asked, there are some concerns that those who gossip that makes them go into gossiping. For some, maybe they are envious. For some, low self-esteem.
Yes.
Yeah. For some also, they really maybe are bored, and so they don't have knowledgeable things to discuss or ideas of real issues.
Yes.
So because they are bored, they just feel, okay, let me talk about this, or let me say this to my friend. So those are the concerns that are associated to.
There's also that human aspect, like Yetunde mentioned. We as women, we want to know that we are better than someone else.
Yes.
It's that psychological aspect of belittling someone else and thinking, oh, I'm not that bad.
Yeah.
She's worse than I am. So it's good to, self-esteem, myself, building up my self-esteem, like, I'm good. I thought I was bad. So gossiping about someone else makes you feel better.
Yeah.
Women, they gossip more than men because they just talk behind your back. But men face. When they want to say something, they say face to face. Now, when you look at relationship, there are people who want to lift up their relationship with others. So they want to maybe have good relationship with others more than others. Fashion. We like to be like heroes. You see, material wealth. So these are the points that bring women to gossip more. Relationship, fashion, celebrities. I'm insecure. I want to be secured.
Can we then say that maybe society has been a bit unfair to women in terms of the boy gets to go to school, the girl stays at home? From what we're saying, gossip gets born out of not having something to engage yourself with. So I think the idea of society putting the girl behind the boy in education could be one of the reasons. Lack of something to do, the woman is always at home. Somebody mentioned housewives. You are a housewife does not mean you don't have enough to do in your house. But the fact that all men have gone to work and the women are just there, then you look out of your window and you think, I should go talk to this lady about this other lady, about this other man. He came home the other time. So I think the way society is structured has sort of put women a little bit down, maybe in the past. Today is a bit different. We have a lot more educated women. Women get engaged in the workplaces. You get them trying to break the glass ceiling. We have not fully broken it, but at least we are hoping we will break it one day. But from what I'm hearing, I think we need to be engaged in something that is gainful so that the mind does not get attracted in the direction of speaking about the other person. Why do men speak about real issues? It's because they engage with real issues. So if women will engage with real issues and be matured and respectful, there will be very little room for gossip.
Okay. I'll come back to that point in a moment, but I want to go back to something that Angela said. It just got me thinking, because she was talking about how we relate as women as opposed to how men relate to each other. And I think it's something that is a strength that we have as women, the fact that we are relational, the fact that we are personal and intimate in the way that we relate with others. That's actually a very big bonus for us. And maybe, you know, for every coin has two sides to it. And maybe that's why it's easier for us to talk about things that are intimate, because Yetunde has talked about, you know, as women become more educated, as they join the workforce, that they'll have less time to gossip. But I think we know that even in workplaces, and just like Caroline was saying, whether men or women, people still gossip. And they're educated and they work. But maybe it's the way that we relate to each other, because we're very relational and very intimate in the way that we engage. So it's easier for us to talk about things that are intimate and personal. So which means that actually talk in itself and talking in a way that is personal and private is not necessarily a negative thing. It's how you use it that makes it positive or negative. How does that help us, the fact that we can talk about personal, relational type of things? Does it do us any good? Should we only talk about politics and work?
It could do us some good.
Okay.
For example, as Debbie mentioned, there are housewives who are at home, and sometimes they want to offload their stress. They want to share with someone else, maybe a woman, because now that we are more relational than men, it relieves, you know, by sharing, your stress is at least relieved to some extent. So I would say yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yes.
Just thinking, we mentioned about men talking about real issues. It doesn't mean that women, when they gossip, they don't talk about real issues, right? In fact, I think the women have more real issues. They are like the 10 fingers of the hands. They are split. They have several roles. So that's their real issue.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah.
It's true.
So
let's not undermine these things and say that they're not real. Yeah, because it's not what we see on the TV that's real, not what we read in the newspaper that's real, but it's what I'm going through right now that's real for me. And so they are real issues. Yes, and that's why we're talking about it. Yes.
I just want to say that for women, you find there's a lot of research that says a widow would live longer than a widower. When a woman loses her husband, she still has many years to go in front of her, because she's able to engage with people, like Caroline is saying. Women step out, they talk. I hope I didn't come out like I'm saying women gossip all the time. No, women talk about real issues as well. And talking can do us a lot of good.
So talk is healthy. And talking about real issues and intimate things can be very healthy. It's good for us. But we just need to learn how to manage it. You wanted to say something to
I
that.
wanted to add, talk gives answers to some of our challenges. So it's good. Yeah, that is a positive way of talk. As the Bible says in Ephesians 4:29, it says, I just paraphrase, when you see that, when you think that what you are going to say will offend somebody, you shut your mouth. But when what you do or you say builds somebody, it gives him grace, move on, because that will save at least and one soul and give hope. That is why we are here. Our talk has to build somebody and give answer to those who are in need, who are challenged with life.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. That's a good place for us to pause for a moment. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Women Engage, where real women talk about real issues. So we're still talking about women and gossip. And we've agreed on this panel, it is not women and gossip. It is people and gossip. Because it's an issue that people have generally. So before we went on our break, we said talk is actually good. It's good for us to talk about the things that affect us. Now, let me ask, so when does talk become unwholesome? When does it become negative? When does it become gossip?
It becomes gossip because when it is unconfirmed. You see, you're talking about somebody,
Yeah.
and it is unconfirmed reports or unconfirmed news.
Yeah.
That's why it's rumor or idle talk.
Okay.
Yeah, a rumor is not confirmed.
Okay.
So it becomes gossip.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So if I'm not 100% sure about the validity of what I'm saying, then it becomes idle talk.
Exactly.
But what if I said, for example, if I am 100% sure, night did not look good last night, is that gossip?
Oh, well, I think it's an opinion.
Yeah.
It's more of an opinion
Yeah.
than a fact. Because according to your opinion, according to your thinking, night did not look good last night.
Okay.
So it's your opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, but would that be wholesome then? Is it okay if, if so I meet Yetunde here and I'm like, oh, I saw Night last night. She did not look good last night. So is that okay?
I would say no, because you are discussing about Night. You're discussing about her in
Yes.
her absence.
Okay.
If she was there and maybe you'd go like, hi, Yetunde, Night did not look good last night.
Yeah.
Then that is not gossip. That is talk. It's not even idle talk, but talk. Right?
So it's okay?
It's okay. But in her absence, Night did not look good last night.
Okay.
It is an opinion, but maybe it tends to lie towards gossip, because why are you telling Yetunde that Night did not look good last night? Right.
Why not tell Night?
Why not
say
tell
it
Night?
tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I should
So
tell.
it is wholesome when you say it tonight.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's wholesome
When
when
you
I say it to the person it affects.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because if I say it tonight, then what can Night do about it? She can do something.
She can
Yeah.
do something.
She can do
She can
something
do
about
Exactly.
it. Maybe she can have her hair done.
Yes.
Whatever. She can do something about it. But if I say it when she's not there, she can't do anything about it. So does that mean that if I have an opinion, something I want to say about someone, they always have to be there? How do I draw the dividing line?
Well, I think it depends on your intention.
Okay.
If your intention is that you want to bring a change to her,
Okay.
and then you are telling it to someone who you feel will pass the message, maybe to you, you may not be able to pass the message properly, and you want someone else to do that, then so that is fine. So the person must not be there.
Okay.
So your message will still go through the one you have given the message to the one you want to receive the message.
Okay. So my intention. It depends. You want to add something to that,
Your
Debbie?
intention, your motivation.
Yes.
What impact will you bring when you talk about somebody? Is it with good intention, good motivation, so that it helps the person and it brings the good impact?
Okay.
We need to be careful.
All right.
Even before I engage myself in something, I need to think twice. What will it bring?
Okay.
What is the motivation? What is the impact that it will bring?
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
good. Okay. So far, I have two things that we've said. The first thing is, would I be willing to speak this thing in someone's presence? Is it something that I feel I could honestly say, even if this person was here? And second, is it something that, and related to that, is it valid? Is it true? So I can say it even in their presence because I know that what I'm stating, I know to be true. And then also now drawing now on the second point is, what is my motivation for sharing? Because I think there might be occasion where you don't want to say something in someone's presence. But your motivation might still be to help them.
Yes.
Because there are certain things that are uncomfortable to hear. But if my sisters were talking about me for the purpose of supporting me, I might not want to be part of the conversation as they're talking about what I'm going through, because it makes me uncomfortable. But if their intention is, let's go and visit her, let's go and pray with her, let's go and, put some food on her table because she doesn't have anything to eat. I may not be comfortable having that conversation in your presence, but if my motivation is to build, then that's okay. Is there anything else? What makes talk wholesome?
I think the word gossip, when we hear the word gossip, it will automatically result to hurt. it will hurt. Gossip is meant to hurt.
Yeah.
Because we don't gossip to uplift someone. Gossip itself is a negative word.
Yes.
So I've gossiped. I've gossiped, but
I think we all have.
yes,
Yes, at some point.
I've also developed that mindset. What if this thing would be said about me? How would I react? So now I listen. I listen. I'll be honest. I listen to gossip. But then I kind of say, but I feel like I want to tell the person, do you know, I heard this and this about you. How true is that? Even if it's true, how can you change that? How can I help you? Because I would put myself in the place of that person I'm gossiping about.
Okay.
I think I would like to give it a bit of a punch. And that's the fact that when you talk about gossip, it's saying the fault of the other person. If it's about uplifting me, it's not gossip. But when I know your fault, and I don't come to you to tell you, to say, Night, this is a weakness. You need to change. And then I go around the neighborhood and I tell everybody, Carol, have you seen Night? Do you know that she's like this? We all have our flaws.
Yeah.
And like Carol said, you may listen to it, and your own mindset is what matters. Because if I go gossip about somebody to another woman, you know that other woman is likely to talk about it to another person. And when she's asked, she's going to say, oh, it was Yetunde who visited me and she told me. You know, and it goes on and on and on like that. So gossip is when we are talking about the fault of another person, or we are making a talk that is inconsistent with the person's behavior. It's not necessarily true that that person is like that. You don't know the reason why on that particular day the sitting room was not well arranged. On that particular day, children decided not to pick their toys, but you don't give a chance to that woman. You just go and you say, she can't control her children. There's no upbringing. She just leaves them to do things. I think that is when it is gossip. It is when it is inconsistent, or we are talking about the fault of somebody in the presence of others without telling the other person. Yeah.
And for me, I think that just brings us back to what Debbie had said initially before the break on the Bible verses of Ephesians chapter 4, verse 28.
Yeah.
Do not let any unwholesome talk come
Yeah.
out of your mouth,
Yeah.
but only for building up and for the benefit of the person who's listening.
Yes. That's a good one. I have another one. That's a good one. 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 13 also says, besides, this is talking about, in this particular scripture, they're talking about widows, but it could apply to any idle person. Besides, they get into the habit of being idle and going about from house to house. And not only do they become idlers, but also busybodies who talk nonsense, saying things that they ought not to. So we have there in those two scriptures, the unwholesome, as well as examples of the unwholesome. And we're also going to look at some of the wholesome. I want to pick out from Ephesians chapter 4, unwholesome talk. In verse 31 of that same chapter, it says, get rid of all bitterness. Sometimes we gossip because we're bitter. And so we take our bitterness out on other people by talking about them. So bitterness, rage and anger, brawling and slander. Slanders, making statements like Knight said that, I don't even know about the validity of the statement that I'm saying, along with any form of malice. Even if it's true, my intent is malicious. I want to make myself look good, or I want to make you look bad, so that everybody knows you're not as good as everyone thinks you are. And so all of that is very negative, because it stirs up conflict and it destroys our societies. But if I am a gossip, how can I stop? Just quickly, what can I do to stop? If I realize I have a problem with gossiping, how do I practically stop myself from gossiping?
Let me first I pray,
Yeah.
but I make myself busy.
Okay.
So that I'm busy doing my things for the good
Okay.
and for development, so that I don't have a time, because you don't gossip by yourself. You gossip with somebody.
Yes.
Yeah. So make yourself busy and for good, for
Yes.
the development of your
Yes.
family, your society. Yeah, that will help.
Good.
We need to have that willpower to say, oh, you know, I don't have time to listen. Or be more polite and say, well, you know, there is a way of stopping someone, you know, brainwashing you with gossips.
Yeah.
There is that way of, you know.
Yeah. And
Backing
I think if someone comes to you with gossip and you say, I really don't want to hear that,
Yeah.
I think chances are they won't continue because they'll be a bit surprised because they thought you'd be like, yes, yes, you know, like Yetunde was saying, we have that nature. So I think if you tell someone, you know, I really don't think I want to know.
I do it
that.
with my mom,
Yeah.
for example, when she starts saying,
Yes.
oh, you know, so as I say, I have my own problems to deal with. I don't think I need to top up with, you know, someone else's. So,
Yeah.
I think someone who gossip also need to be helped by the society, the friends around. Maybe you look at such a person like a drunk who you maybe you are trying to help. You go by saying, okay, if you take 10 glasses a day, go by 8, reduce to 6, 4, 2. So someone who also gossip needs that kind of help, that kind of therapy, where the person comes. You know, for those who gossip, we have said that maybe they are bored or feeling of insecure. So we can also create that environment for them to
Build themselves.
To build themselves
Yes.
up. Yeah.
I think it's a bit difficult to help somebody who gossips a lot. It takes a lot of patience on your part because you try not to, you listen, but you don't give the response they expect. And so because you're not giving that response, the gossip tends to be, the one sharing the gossip gets annoyed with you for saying you are not listening to me. You are not seeing my point of view. But what you're actually doing is to try and stop this person from continuing in this habit. And I think like every other habit, it's difficult to break it once and for all. So if we're going to stop gossiping, or if we ourselves are going to stop listening, we need to be patient. Yes.
Yeah. All depend on the one who is helping. You need to be a prayerful person. You need to be humble, to be patient, so that at a time the person is not listening to you. For you, you know that I will achieve. And God will help you just to help that person to come out. Yeah. It's not easy, but with all the passions you have, you will achieve and you will help.
Okay. Well, thank you, ladies. We have run out of time, unfortunately, but we've been talking about women and gossip. And we've said, you know, it's good to talk. It's good for you to talk. It's good to share your real issues with your sisters and your brothers. But let's make our talk wholesome. Let's make our talk building. Let's make our talk something that's going to move people forward instead of moving people back. So have wonderful talk for the rest of this week. Keep blessing people with your talk. Keep coming back to our Hope channel to listen to our next program of Women Engage, where real women talk about real issues.